All right, now that that bench is done over there, I'm starting to work on my wood planing bench. This thing has seen a lot of abuse. In fact, Claude and I used it when we restored the truck, so there's a lot of residual mess left over from that. And one of which is here on this tool trough that I built for it years ago. I think this is this must be some fiberglass or something that we mixed up, some kind of filler, and it is so hard that I can't even get it with this chisel. So I'm not sure I'll be able to get all that removed without destroying this tool trough. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I'll clean it up the best I can, but the main thing being, I mean, after all, that is a tool trough, so it's not like it's gotta be perfect anyway. This top is gonna get planed down with probably my joiner planer up there, or a combination of that one, and then this old Stanley right here that I restored years ago. So I'll clean that top up, and then I'll put probably 2 or 3 coats of either butcher block oil or linseed, probably linseed because I've already got it. I might even still have some butcher block left, but anyway. And then the front, as well as the sides and back, are all I'm gonna have to, of course, re-sand those drawer faces. But they're gonna get a couple coats of the shellac sealer, and then the same general finishes, high performance urethane. So it should look pretty different the next time I get a picture of it. All right, see ya. All right, I came up with an idea of how I'm gonna deal with this. I'm gonna use an old plunge router bit, and I'm gonna basically plunge down into that far enough to clean all of that up. So see how it goes. Okay, that bit, changed the bits out to this one, more surface area, and that worked beautifully. Got the bottom of that trough cleaned out now, and now I can just go to sanding. So, all right, see you soon. Okay, what I have here is I've planed this bench down with my joiner plane right here, down to about where I want it to be. There's still some little marks here that I'm gonna clean up with doing some light sanding, but what I have here is I think they call this not a story stick. This is a machine flat edge, absolutely flat aluminum instrument for this very purpose, checking flatness. And I've got a light behind it. What I'm looking for is to see if there's any light shining through. And as you can see, right there in the middle, there's a little bit of light, but there's not towards the outer edges. So that tells me, and I'll check it at another few points, that tells me there's a little bit of cup, a little bit of this action on the tabletop. So I'll have to deal with that by planing on this side and on this side just a little bit more to try to even things up. So, all right, here we go. Okay, here's the bench. I've got it all sanded and prepped for the coat of shellac I'm gonna put on it. I might do 2 coats, depends what I think after the first one. But got pretty much sanded down. Like, I left some areas that are just kind of hard to get to, and like right there on that foot at the bottom. But for the most part, I got it sanded, and it should look a lot better and be pretty durable too once I get it top coated with that urethane. So, all right, here we go. Okay, I wanted to get this real quick. That's 1 coat of the shellac sealer, and that looks good to me. Again, it's just a sanding sealer. It gets down in the pores, and yeah, that'll work. So I'm gonna let that dry, go pick up Carter from school, and then I'll come back and start putting some urethane top coats on. So about to wrap this up. All right, see ya. Okay, it's all done. So I sanded it down, or first I hand planed the top down to get it nice and flat, and then I just did some touch-up sanding. Cleaned this tool tray thing out, again using the router, and then did some sanding on it as well. That's black walnut, by the way. The tabletop is made out of Scandinavian birch, and that's the edge grain that you're looking at there. Makes it tough. And I'm pretty sure what I used here was spalted birch or something like that. Not spalted, but the drawer faces anyway, and then cabinet grade plywood. But that was sanded to 220, and then 3 coats of that urethane, General Finishes urethane, high performance satin over there. So, and I went ahead, I know some people would raise an eyebrow at this, but I decided to go ahead and do the top with the same because it's durable. And while some people would say, oh yeah, but now your board's going to be sliding all over the place. No, it's not, because I've got things that I used to preclude that from happening. And that's these little puppies right here. So when you're hand planing something, these bench dogs go down into the holes there and clamp it in place. Here's another one. So anyway, there's ways of keeping that from happening. I didn't never try to hand plane a board sitting on the bench anyway without clamping it somehow. I also put this way back when, put this stop here as well. So basically what you can do, well, got an issue here. Raise that thing up. This is just made out of MDF scrap piece. Probably make a better one now that I'm kind of making other things nicer. But anyway, so you'd put the board up against this edge with this just slightly lower than the height of the board, and then of course you're planing in this direction, hand planing in this direction here. If I can show that, hand planing in this direction. So obviously the board's not going to go anywhere in that direction there. And if I have a bench dog, one of these adjustable clamp bench dogs on the other end, either this one or I've got a shorter one too, this one here, nothing's going anywhere. So, and I like the fact that it looks cleaner, it's going to stay clean longer, and the drawers have a nice satin sheen to them. So yeah, the bench basically, I built it 18 years ago and it hasn't been refinished since. So I surfaced the top, but it basically looks like it did when it was brand new now. And kind of a special little thing here I did back then, Artisan Drum Works, established, if you can read that, 2004. It's barely in there, but yeah, that's when I started the company officially. So anyway, all done there. All I gotta do now is just clean those drawers out and organize them. Have a little bit of finessing to do on these dados that I cut as the slide mechanism. This drawer works fine, but this one sticks a little bit. I'm gonna have to just do a little bit of finessing on it and get them waxed so they open up nicely. And all right, see you next time. One more thing I wanted to add in here. This is a spray gun that I bought back in, I think 2004, 2003, when I first got started doing the drums and everything. This is an Italian-made gun. It's made by Asturo, and it's a pressure feed system. What you do is you regulate the amount of fluid pressure, volume, coming out the nozzle here, but you also adjust air pressure for the actual air cap right here. Anyway, A real unfortunate event happened because this company is no longer in business. You can't even get parts or anything, but this was definitely one of my favorite guns besides another one I'm going to show you. But I thought I had this thing hooked up or, hung on this little thing here, but I didn't all the way when I set it down. And what happened is the pot wasn't on it. The gun fell off and it bent this, let's see if I can show this. So this right here is the fluid volume adjustment. Like I said, that down there is the pressure. This is for the actual volume. This is the spray pattern. So it affects, how, let me get my hand out of the way here before this thing falls again. It affects how narrow or how wide, coming out of the end of the gun. I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know already, but anyway, when that hit the ground, I was sick because it bent the knob that was on there, which is now here in pieces, because when I tried to bend it back, it broke the metering valve right here, right off. And I can't get any parts for it. So the only good thing is that I was able to put that back in so that you don't lose the air there. And what it means now is that the air pattern is just wide open all the time. So I can't adjust that anymore. But that gave me occasion to get out the gun that I painted my truck with. So, which is actually a super, super good gun. It's made by CA Technologies. It's a gravity feed, but what I'm using on it here is called, made by 3M. It's called their PPS. It's a pressure, I guess it's pressure pot system is what that stands for. But in any case, what happens is, and notice I have a rubber band on here because I don't want it to fall off. What happens on this thing is when you have material, you mix your material in here, it's got a liner inside that you just throw away. So when I was doing the truck, mixing up my paint and my clear coat and so forth, when you're done, you just take that out of there and throw the liner away. But the cool thing about this is, see if I can do this with one hand without dropping the, hold on a second. This right here, this thing right here comes off. And I'm gonna do that. So it's off. And what it does is you stick that thing down in there and then give it a little twist this way, and it catches that little detent right there. And so then the cup is sitting on the gun, and then hook your air up, and when you squeeze the trigger, it draws a vacuum on the little liner that's inside there. And once it pulls it all the way up and starts spraying out, now you have a paint gun that you can turn in any direction that you want to, which is super cool, because when I painted the truck, I had to get up underneath, in spots, especially in the interior, to paint. And there's no way that you could have done that with a regular, gravity feed gun like that, because it would have cavitated. It would have starved it for fluid simply because you're in an orientation that it's not getting any. This precludes that altogether. I mean, you can turn this thing upside down and it'll paint, and then you simply pull the liner up out of there and throw it away when you're done. It saves cleanup time. So that's the gun I ended up using to finish this bench, and I really do like it. It's an excellent gun, comparable to Sada and Awada, which are like kind of the industry standard in automotive paint guns, but a lot less expensive. And also what's cool is I have several tips, a couple of air nozzles and several needle knot, 2 air caps, sorry, and then several size tips, needle and nozzle tips. So very good gun. And so even though I'm saddened by that, I was happy to use this gun again. So that's going to be my go-to now to do all of my finishing. All right, see you.